What's the difference between this one and the Rogue Nation?
Well, every movie in the franchise has a different director. So when Tom asked me to come back, I said I would do it on the condition that I could be a different director. I wanted to maintain that aesthetic for the franchise. And that meant replacing my entire crew, starting over with all new people. New cinematographer, new production designer, new composer. Anybody who affected anything in terms of the look or the feel of the film was somebody that I hadn't worked with before. There's always pressure to try to come up with something new. And the trick is to not overthink it and not try to top the last movie or the movie before that. The advantage I have is I have a resource like Tom Cruise who can jump out of planes and drive motorcycles, and everything that Tom is able to do enables me to shoot things in a way that haven't been shot before.
I don't trust Walker.
What Tom and I do, we're always talking about ideas for the next movie. So we have sort of a stockpile of ideas that we can draw from. We've been talking about the helicopter chase for years. We've been talking about the halo jump for years. What I didn't think was we would ever put any two of them in the same movie.
And then there's Tom. He's the pilot, he's acting, and he's the camera operator.
We're rolling and ready when you are, Tom.
Copy that.
We're good, we're rolling.
You make a mistake, somebody's going to die from it.
And the funny thing about making this movie was we were so focused on each sequence while we were shooting them that it wasn't until we put the whole movie together and realized just how much action we had in the film. And I think that's the thing I'm most proud of is not any one specific sequence, but how many of them ended up in the same movie. Well, yes. I mean, part of why we like him doing all of his own stunts is it allows me to shoot things in a way that other people can't. You know, I have an actor who's able to do all of this stuff. The challenge becomes, where do I put the camera so that you can actually see him doing it? And that's the great thing about working with Tom.
Body has to grab on.
You know, it's one of those things. I'm supposed to have that level of impact hitting the wall. I just put my foot out, tried to soften the impact. I knew instantly it was broken.
He knew, I have to finish this because we're not coming back, and pulled himself up to get the shot.
Well, having made so many movies, you learn that something always goes wrong. Something happens that wasn't according to plan. And at the end of every movie, you inevitably look back and say, imagine if that thing hadn't happened. You know, how different the movie would be. Disaster and chaos, they force you to be more creative. So when he broke his ankle, I knew from experience that we were gonna find a way to work it to our advantage. And in the case of his injury on this movie, I simply moved post-production up that much earlier. I started editing the movie right away, and I was able to get ahead of the post-production schedule. I was able to work on visual effects sooner, and I was able to rewrite the screenplay. I was able to actually refine the movie, where normally I would have been doing that in post. I did it early on. So I like to say all the time, disaster is an opportunity.
Go, 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 go!
What are you waiting for?
I'm jumping out a window! Oh, sorry, good luck.
I haven't given a second thought to whether or not there's going to be another Mission Impossible. I know Tom will do the Mission Impossibles, but whether or not I'm the one who comes back, that's anybody's guess. And I'm open to anything. I'm always looking for the next challenge, whatever comes my way. But I never start by thinking what kind of movie I want to make. It's really just a good story. Yes, every time Tom went out, the cameraman went out with him, and he would record it. No matter what time of day it was, they would land, and I would meet them on the ground. And then we'd all get into a van and drive back to the runway for them to get on a plane and go jump again. And while we were driving from the landing zone to the airstrip, we'd review the shot, and I would give him notes on the shot and send him up again. So he was learning how to shoot the sequence while he was driving to the runway to jump out of the plane and shoot it again. Well, you know, there's that old adage about Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire, that everything Fred Astaire did, Ginger Rogers had to do it backwards and in high heels. And in this thing, everything that Tom Cruise does, the cameraman had to do backwards with the camera on his head.
There's always a ticking clock in filming a movie, but it's not usually the Earth flying up towards you.
Thank you. Nice one. Boom. I can't wait for an audience to see this.
I still can't believe we got it.